on Syria specifically, policy-wise, I'm assuming, given the Secretary's powerful testimony yesterday and the day before, plus his very powerful speeches that he gave on Friday and Monday, that he still feels the same way that he did last week. And so what I don't understand, though, is how he is comfortable with the President's decision. I understand the President is the Commander-in-Chief and that everyone is going to get on board with whatever he decides, but I don't understand why he is so full-throatedly in favor of this. He, over the weekend, said the President was acting courageously by taking this to Congress, and I don't understand what is courageous about asking permission for something that you say you don't need and to do what you believe to be the right thing, not just morally, but in general. Can you explain why this is a courageous move and why the Secretary would call it a courageous move?
Certainly let me first say, of course, the Secretary does feel how he did on Friday, how he did on Sunday, that targeted intervention is absolutely the right step, and he does support the President's decision to bring this to Congress.
So was there some kind of group spine removal procedure at the White House over the weekend? I don't understand. How is this courageous?
Well, Matt, obviously the President has the authority to act without the cooperation of Congress, but the President and the Secretary strongly agreed that when the administration and the people's representatives stand together, that strengthens our case and makes our case even stronger internationally.
But, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, well, if the administration firmly believes the case that it has laid out, right? Mm-hmm. If the President has made a decision that the United States should act militarily, if the administration believes that it doesn't need congressional authorization to do it, and in fact reserves the right to go ahead and do it, even if Congress were to vote no, why? It would seem that the only reason to go to Congress then would be to give the President an excuse or a reason not to act.
That's absolutely not the case. The President has made...
So the Secretary is totally sure and is very comfortable with this decision and does not believe that the President is sacrificing the courage of his convictions for political expediency in this case.
Absolutely not, and quite to the contrary. Let's not forget where the Secretary was just 8 months ago. He wasn't in Foggy Bottom. He wasn't in this building. He was chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. And if this were in a series of events that happened a year ago, I can bet you that he would have wanted congressional approval and congressional authorization for any step that was taken. He has consistently been an advocate since he came into this position for consulting with and working closely with Congress, and certainly supported, as he said this weekend, the President's decision to take the time to do just that. And the last thing I'll just add here on this point, and then we'll go to your next question, is as the President has said, as the Secretary said, but I'll repeat this again, the Department of Defense has made clear that unlike Libya, where there was an impending crisis coming within 48 hours, that this is a case where if we take action in a week, if we take action in 2 weeks or a month, that we can still have a successful action and outcome. And that was an assurance that we could take the time to go to Congress and strengthen our hand.
So in the case of Libya, then you're saying you acted to save lives, but here you're acting, you're not acting to save lives. That's already happened. You don't believe that you can save more lives by acting quicker?
Well, certainly the reason the President and the Secretary feel so strongly about taking action is to send the clear message that there are consequences to the use of chemical weapons, to violating this international norm.
Right, but
that's why they want to act.
Well, yeah, but acting later rather than sooner would seem to put more lives at risk rather than to save them. If you believe that military action will deter Assad from using chemical weapons again, then it seems to me you would want to do it sooner rather than later, because more people, and the Secretary said yesterday he was 100% sure that Assad, if nothing was done, Assad would use them again.
Well, Matt, you
Are you
always...
making the calculation that Assad, if he just thinks that something is about to happen, won't you? That's a deterrent as well?
Matt, you always evaluate all the factors when making a decision. That's exactly like this, with this serious, which is exactly what the president and the national security team did. And certainly we rely on the advice of the Department of Defense and their statements they've made privately, of course, and publicly, that this is not we can have a successful outcome with an action that doesn't have an immediate deadline.